Anyways, welcome into tonight's game of Campaign 1, Fate Reforged. Thanks everybody for joining us here today. Thanks all the
That's
players.
totally not the name.
That's a magic set, dude.
Oh, Forged by Fate. Oh my god, I'm
Fate Reforged, playing MTG. Live on stream for you.
We're gonna get copyrighted for this. Anyway,
Yeah, for sure.
so thank you guys all for joining us. The players, Tad and Luke, putting in tons of work on the channel, YouTube videos, all that stuff. Everybody for joining us to play the game. All our viewers who are just sitting in swaths in the side cheering us on. We can hear your voices leading us ever forward into the future. So thank you for joining us. Players are going to start their arduous journey south in an attempt to find the brood mother of the green dragons in an attempt to solve the reforging of this relic that Nova has. The players are all kind of gathered up after taking care of some werewolf lycanthrope creatures. In an attempt to save them, they dodged around town and were unable to save everyone, but protecting the city largely. The leader, Rowan, Alderia's father, deciding that he can take up the mantle from here and will pursue whatever means it will require to save them. So heading out of there, the players, if I remember right, got back to Valtine by the time we called it a session. Seem to remember that being the case.
Yeah.
Everybody walked back into Valtine. Notably now, what was once a war-torn city is now slowly starting to rebuild itself. No such perfection, but you see people more in large number gathering and people raising sidings to houses up and, working away, rebuilding what was once lost. The city of Valtine is on the mend. As you guys re-enter Valtine, it's about midday. Similar travel back about 21 days. The forest behind you. Unless am I missing anything? Is that where we left off? I can't seem to remember for sure, but
That sounds good.
sound about right. Okay, we'll go with it because I'm not getting any notes. But yeah, so you guys re-enter the town of Valtine, just about tapped out of rations and those kinds of things at this point. You're feeling like long journey ahead of you, but you just put a significant portion of it behind you as well. So, what would y'all like to do?
What time of day is it? Sorry.
Probably about noon.
Noon.
So you guys get back right at the height of the day. Timed it pretty well with your traveling.
Can I go talk to Uditov?
You're certainly welcome to. Is everyone join Alderia and talking to the main NPC? Thus far.
A little bit of backtracking. As we were traveling to Valtine, I would have used sending to talk to Raga Fiercefish.
Okay. What would you like to say to him?
God, I had it pieced out. It was 21 words. Do you want me to actually piece the message together again?
If it's 21, I mean, if it was gonna go over without piecing it together, it's the limitation of the spell. So
It wasn't. It was 25.
I will say I highly encourage winging it with finger counting. That is something that I
Okay.
find enjoyable.
I think you should try.
Alderia's father, Rowan, is traveling to meet you. Have a lookout to meet him about the fates. I think that was it.
Is that you, Kyla? God. Sorry, I gotta count too. About how long will he be till he arrives? How will we know who he is? I think it cuts off at is, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That was 20.
Wait, how will he know who he is? How are you all faring? That's where it cuts off. Sounds
Damn
like
it.
he's in the middle of saying more.
Is that okay? I'll cast it again. Each message is 25 words or less.
I think technically 25 is one word. It's hyphenated.
It is.
Out of game. What does Rowan look like?
What does what?
What does Rowan look like?
Oh, Rowan? Kind of, he wears like a bear kind of draped over his shoulders, typically in the forest. Slightly darker complexion, just from long days out in the sun, but Caucasian. Dark, kind of straight, jet blackish hair, long. Usually wears some kind of headdress adorning things, simple leathers. Wrinkled face, kind of medium blue eyes.
Okay. Rowan is a druid, wears furs and headdress, has other druids with him. Keep a lookout very soon. 25.
You hear in your head, we will look out for Rowan. What else does she say? It's a good ass question. Now I was telling you to wing it.
She doesn't have to, but I mean, I just
she'll we wish you greatest luck on your journey and hope to see him arrive safely. May the stars guide you.
Yeah.
It's funny how easy you can make it fit into exactly 25 if you just
if you think about it a little bit and cut out some unnecessary fluff. And then I'd probably do that like during my watch at night.
Sure.
And then just tell Aldir in the morning. I let Raga know that Rowan's going to visit her.
Great. Thank you.
Alrighty. Is there any other role playing anybody would like to do on the road back to Valtine? Home base.
Okay.
I don't know, just for the sake of it being in game. I've been messing around with the book, and I'm just because I leveled up and I got new spell slots and stuff. So that.
Sure. I mean, unless there's anything particular, you guys see Nova.
No, I just like that he has to work for it,
Yeah. You see Nova on the road practicing reading.
What is a normal sized book but looks very tiny?
Yeah. Like a religious pamphlet that someone would give on the side of the road. This book in the palm of Nova, flicking through page by page.
So your maths are dangerous.
Nothing particular happens reading through it outside of the learning of new spells as they slowly reveal themselves to you. Find ways to trace the arcane sigils, and then bring them up as if to cast them. And you do have that new magic power, feeling emboldened and a little stronger than you were yesterday.
Yeah, not
So
just
Nova's practicing reading. Reading.
Who was that one guy in Reading Rainbow?
LeVar Burton.
LeVar
Yeah,
Burton.
LeVar Burton. Jordy from Star Trek.
Yep, Jordy
I was
LaForge.
doing this. I'm like, LeVar Burton, that guy.
Yeah,
this guy.
right. Lieutenant LaForge.
Make it so.
Make it so
Anyways.
number one.
Some juice there, Jesse?
No, that's just cherry cola from my half gallon from KFC.
Not a sponsor.
From the literal bag
Cherry
of soda.
Pepsi
Hashtag
by
not
Saint
Did
Pepsi.
it come in a bag?
It came in a bag.
That's amazing.
What is this,
They
Canada?
bagged it, yeah.
Bag
Really?
soda.
Hey,
Hell
don't hate
yeah,
on
bro.
the bagged milk.
Look, bag milk is fucking disgusting.
I would take Canadian citizenship.
It's the same milk.
Citizenship.
Shitty shit. Yeah, but it's in a bag.
Yeah, you get a special pitcher though to put it in.
What's the point of
Look
the
at you in a
bag?
picture.
Yeah, no, I don't understand.
I looked it up once. It was something about saving packaging during like a war.
You can recycle milk cartons though. You
I
can't really do that with the bags. I feel like because they're all plastic.
think it's also cheaper to ship them because the bags weigh like nothing.
Hey, no.
Yeah, you could probably stack more of them, like just
Yeah.
on top of each other.
I'm adding this realism into my campaign. Speaking of that,
Are we having bagged milk now?
The bagged milk salesman.
Camel milk
Damn it.
too.
Hey Nova, check out this new spell I learned. I'll do this on some random day while we're
Bagged milk.
traveling.
Put
and I'll
somebody in a
cast
bag.
haste on them.
Oh hell yeah!
you feel. Yeah. Have you ever made coffee brewed with coffee before instead of water?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I found.
It is a bad idea.
No, but I have a coffee machine at my apartment here, and I found the espresso button. So yes, I know
Oh
what
no.
that feels like.
Oh god. Yeah, so you feel
Like
wired
that.
for a moment to the point where your instincts. It's like almost like being an animal. Your instincts, everything slows down. You can feel your heart beating.
Through the fire and the flame starts playing in your mind.
I just run like way past the. Or we're just hoofing it. We didn't have camels.
No,
Off
we're
in
just
the
walking.
distance.
Have you seen
Don't worry.
One Punch
He'll
Man?
be laying down on the ground in a few minutes. Or one, to be exact.
Is your spell the heart thing from Kill Bill?
It's called haste. It just makes you really fast for a minute.
Oh, he's not actually gonna collapse. I thought he was saying it's like the punch.
Just
Well,
straight up
after
kills me.
after the spell ends, you
Quivering
feel a
heart.
wave of
I had
lethargy.
You know what thing I'm talking about in Kill Bill?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Where he does like the one finger, or she does like the one finger punch or whatever, and just like disables his heart.
Yeah, but it takes like
It's like
5
the
minutes.
five
Yeah,
pointed.
yeah.
That's a monk thing
Yeah,
in 3.5.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah. Anyways,
It should.
So anyway,
that's all. That's
wow,
all.
we're like squirrel today.
All over the place.
Look, man. I've been up at 4 a.m. every day this week. Y'all deserve it. I deserve it. We can fuck around and have a good time. It's fine.
That's fair.
Worst case scenario, I have fun with my friends. Best case scenario, we get something done and I have fun with my friends.
Right.
Like, it's all upside. But,
Do we want
So,
to
yeah,
skip
you
ahead to
guys
Udatoth again?
yeah, if you guys are ready to, you kind of show each other these new things you've learned and these new skills that are emboldening you to adventure somehow, some way more powerful than you were before, which I'm not sure is possible, but you're claiming it is, so I guess I'll just have to find a way to challenge you. Returning to Valtine, our adventurers look about to the city rebuilding itself, looking to one another, knowing they've done a good deed in ridding this town of hags. They take a deep sigh of relief as they return to the place they once called a home.
Gulp.
That was pretty good, actually. I should have started our game like that, actually.
We return with our adventurers.
Damn.
Should be your shtick.
No one umping your DM, you're dead. I'm just kidding. But what'd you guys like to do? You're at Valtine. City's
Udatoth.
Udatoth.
You go to Udatoth.
Udatoth.
He's dead.
Udatoth.
Okay.
He's dead.
Dead.
He's
They.
more alive. They are dead.
They are dead.
They are more alive than you've ever seen them when you return.
I will be talking to Udatoth, but while hugging and petting the camel.
The camel has a name.
I know,
Yes.
I can't remember it.
Wow, the camel doesn't
I
know.
have
For
to go
shame.
on
I remember the camel's name, and that's saying something because I don't write enough fucking notes.
I don't remember the camel's name.
What is it's Milo.
When you activate your ability to speak with him, he will inform you of his name.
I will speak with animals.
His name Oscar.
My
No, it's something new.
Seema.
Seema. Alright.
See my butt.
Fuck off.
You had to take a wholesome moment like that.
But you guys see Udatoth. Now, actually, moving this mobile kind of cart shop from SEMA with the place you'd regularly seen it kind of perched almost on top of the creature, now off to the side, set up. It seems like they have actually conscripted builders to start building some kind of storefront for them, in addition to whatever has happened before. And returning, you see long fingernails stretching out, rings adorning each finger, and jewels kind of dangling almost ordainedly. Oh, hello. Welcome, adventurers.
Hello?
It's nice to see you.
I
You
like
as well,
your
Udatoth.
nails.
Oh, thank you.
I like your accent. Where you from?
I'm from the south, the capital. I
I'm
assume
sorry.
your journey east has done great by you. You all look fantastic.
It was an adventure. But we got to see my family and survive a dragon.
I
met a
wouldn't exactly call it a health sabbatical.
Oh, no good
Point.
adventure should be. You've done well to return, Kyla. Is there anything I can help with?
I'm sure each of us has something we'd like.
Yeah. Mine is more of a request for you to look for.
Of course. I shall
Can
take
I
notes on
s-
this request.
I
I am
assume,
a good shopkeeper.
I assume you don't have this, so it would be something that I'd have to have you search out or make for me.
Yes, what can I do for you?
I need something that would make me more stealthy.
Let me
And I
check
don't
my
want it to be
wares.
I don't want it to be armor because I have armor. But I was thinking maybe like I don't know, shoes or something.
Or Cloak of Elvenkind, perhaps?
Yeah, who knows?
Let me think here for a moment. Something to make you more stealthy. Well, I've limited options, but if you are interested, I have this scroll. Hands it off to you. It's a scroll of invisibility. Should
Does it
you...
Well,
only
that sounds
work
pretty
once?
stealthy.
Yes, it is only consumable one time, but should you like to use it, it is a very potent effect.
Did you have
And
to eat
should
it?
you have anyone that can inscribe it into a spell book? No, dear. It's simply to read it while tracing the arcane runes.
Kyler has to like cover his mouth with his hands so he can't see the smell.
Sorry, what was that
Just-
about the spell book part?
If you know anyone who can transcribe it into a spell from the scroll, they could perhaps learn it permanently.
So I would need to find someone to put it into the written version of the spell, and then
And
I
they'd-
could learn it.
They'd also
Transcription.
have to be able to cast the spell from a spell book. He's speaking of like an arcane caster, like a wizard.
Yes.
So it's not very helpful for me.
Currently, I would argue that it is a very helpful tool indeed. It's one I very much could use on my own and perhaps will procure or create more of. And at a fine price, might I add.
I think I'm good. I'm looking for something more long term.
I see.
Something to get rid of this disadvantage on my stealth.
Ah, I see. You're suffering major disadvantages from your clunky armor.
Yes.
Now you're speaking my language, Alderia. Well, if you'd like me to conscript something that would negate this effect, I could perhaps procure something, or create it. A procurement, I imagine, would be hit or miss, as I am the primary dealer of magic items, but in the area, that is. But should I find one, I would trade it for you at the value with which I need to make a profit on it.
He's got a monopoly on the market. Cancel Udatoth.
Antitrust funds.
They
They've got a monopoly on the market.
That would be wonderful, Udatoth, if you could keep an eye out for an item. Obviously, there's no rush on it. But
I can also start a project to create this piece, but it would require funding initially.
how much?
Well, what is your time limit?
A day.
Well, we will be. We're only gonna be here for a day, huh?
2 days.
So
We're gonna be gone for a
we're
long
gonna be
time,
gone for a while.
Alderia.
Probably like 6 months.
More like a year.
More like a year.
2
We've
years. We're gonna time
we've,
jump quite a bit.
been contracted by a dragon.
You entered into a deal with this.
I trust Udatoth. I'd snap at Nova.
As you should. Do you mind if I ask the nature of this deal?
No. Yes.
Well-
Yes, we were contracted by the Green Dragon to go south to his mother, the brood mother of all green dragons, and see if she can forge an amulet for us.
The brood mother of
All green dragons.
green
Yep.
dragons.
And this boob mother's supposed to be able to help us in some. I can't even get the words.
Nova, you said boob.
Oh yeah, isn't that what isn't that
No,
what we're going to find?
Brood.
one B, an extra A, and a D. Brood.
Bod. Baud.
Broob.
Brood mother. Fuck.
Brood. There's a brood.
Steve Brule shit.
You mean boobed mother.
Broob.
Feel tickles her butt, Angus.
Boobed mother.
Boobed mother.
So this will likely take us quite a bit of time.
Yes, traveling all the way south, I imagine. You've all thought, I presume, of how you wish to do so.
We
We have
plan on
boats.
taking the river and boats.
That is probably your fastest means of travel. A commendable choice. Well, I do relish having you as customers, so I will admit I would recommend not attempting to meet with a brood mother, but I have the sense that's not going to help turn you away.
We're kind of under threat of dismemberment and eating.
That is as good a reason as any to attempt this quest. Well, I think in that time I could forge something with. Back to the initial topic at hand. You see, Udatoth seems to be visibly kind of like wowed almost by your undertaking. Just kind of assuming it's all true. Very like, whoa.
We feel the
Insight
same.
check.
Go ahead and roll it.
I don't believe he's actually.
You were just trusting him.
Well, I also have a theory about him. So.
He's a broob mother.
Starting the night off right. Natural 2023.
Natural 20. With that, easily you can tell Udatoth. First of all, so you're getting a mixed signal. The first thing you notice is that genuine concern. There isn't anything really betraying that, but you do gather a hint of I don't know how to describe it. You see in the way Udatoth postures themselves, almost like looking at you, almost as if measuring you up. Probably has a decent idea of what you're about to face, at least as far as like the terms of the trial ahead. Maybe not necessarily in specific detail, but you're gathering that as Udatoth eyes you up, kind of exacerbatedly sighs. There seems to be genuine concern, but also astonishment, hope, and probably some kind of, as you would come to expect with Udatoth, some kind of understanding of what is going on. To a certain
More
extent.
understanding than I would expect from the average purveyor of magic items.
Definitely from the average purveyor of magic items, but you happen to know Udatoth is nothing but.
Indeed.
So yeah. I mean, you would gather that they probably at the very least have knowledge of dragon lineages to an extent where they would understand how important a brood mother might be. But back to the main topic. If you would like me to attempt to forge this item, I suppose an upfront cost of 750 gold pieces would probably be sufficient to start the project.
And
Depending-
what item are you thinking of forging there?
Something that would help Alderia be more stealthy. Not forge per se, but craft. In this case, weave, I believe.
So some sort of cloak, you're saying?
No, I was thinking socks, actually.
What?
Socks of one kind, indeed.
Yes, of a cloak.
Oh, well, I'm only asking because maybe we could order 2 of them since we got so much time.
You'd also like one of these items.
Yeah, as long as I'm in a similar situation. I don't really want to lose the armor I'm wearing, but
So 3 months for 2 projects, both of which would cancel out these disadvantages you're experiencing wearing armor while trying to
3
be
months?
quiet. Yes, you are to be gone for a minimum of 6 months.
Oh, okay, yeah. Probably
2
closer to a
pieces.
year, but yeah.
Well, you know what they say, when you bake, you always set it to the lowest time.
Always underbake. That's what they say.
You can always continue to bake. Precisely. I wish I had that in my life. The ability to continue baking. Anyways.
Oh man, I was bringing the bad stuff. I was thinking about cookies.
I was talking about marijuana. Anyways. You see Udatoth kind of punching the numbers. A project of this size would be quite a scale. I could perhaps try. The risks involved, including failure, would be significantly higher. But I am quite skilled, and I could perchance get it done. Likely in a year, and potentially within 6 months.
you know what? I think I'm gonna take my chances. Why don't you make sure Alderia gets hers, and I'll just see if there's maybe somewhere else I can pick one up on the road. Not trying to take saying I'm not appreciative of the services you've rendered,
Of course.
but
I'd
rather we have at
always
least one
accept your
than none.
money. I will always accept your money, but I would never aim to mislead you, especially the customers you've been thus far.
I like the little head movements Jesse does when he's Udatoth. He's like,
I would never mislead you.
brush your hair.
So, if you'd like to procure this creation, I can start on it probably for about 750 gold pieces. And I imagine by the end, perhaps another 200 or 300 more would be sufficient to cover it should I succeed.
Interesting. What about 400?
Udatoth. First of all, roll a persuasion check. Second of all, Udatoth is going to roll an Arcana check.
Should probably take some dice out, right?
This is only D&D.
This is a pretty dice-like campaign, honestly. I'll admit.
Oh, where are you at, D20?
I've been using the Roll20s feature. It's been very kind to me.
Natural 20.
Bruh, 2 in a row?
I like the D&D
Well,
dice
shit.
roller.
I like dice. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you guys. How are you
I don't
not
have
like-
anywhere to roll them.
I
My
like
desk
dice
is kind
a
of
lot.
full.
I swear.
I roll real dice, except for like for Fireball.
I like
Man,
the feeling of rolling a
satisfaction
lot.
of rolling a whole bunch of dice.
Yeah, dude, a double fistful of dice. That feels real good.
All,
If I had
all
someone
my
to do
dice,
it.
Nova loves a double fist.
my dice are glass and stone.
That should be
so-
Nova 2.
in multiple contexts.
But the results of your roll, Alderia. You see Udatoth furrow their brow. Well, I think if I cut out here and replace it with this.
I'll pay the full price in the end. It's just the upfront cost, you know?
Well-
Since there's no certainty.
You must understand the materials are a large portion of the cost. You'd essentially be paying labor afterwards, but I think I could make 400 gold pieces work. It will be more risky with the materials, but it is something I could do for you.
Would-
Alderia, I may be able to chip in, depending on my request. So maybe put a pin in that for a moment and see if I have any left over.
Just put a pin in there.
Put a pin in that. Kyla, can I help you?
Yes, Udatoth. I was looking for a ring of spell storing.
Ring of spell storing. Well,
I'm a little limited in my slots per day, and I'd like to be able to wield a little more arcane might if I need.
I do have a base level one. This one. would
How
be
many
good.
can it store?
Up to 2. This would be approximately 175 gold pieces.
Oh, so
Patient.
Wow.
Very well.
do you have it on hand, or do you need to create it?
Oh, it's on hand.
I absolutely sold.
Before you
That was
spend your
quite the
gold,
bartering.
I 2 free spell slots a day. Fuck.
they are first level. Just to clarify, you would gather that as well.
Can you put 1 second level spell in?
Yes,
To
yep.
Okay, so you can mix
So
and
you could
match.
have a second level spell or 2 first level
2
spells.
first level. That's all I need.
And
I
the
can
way-
put my
How
uses
many
of
cantrips, though?
I can put my uses of mage armor in
Infinity.
it for the day and not burn those spell slots. I'm cool with that.
Yes. So, just for the sake of brevity, I'll let you add a ring of spell storing. You expend spells into it, 2 first level spells or a second level spell slot. It has that spell enchanted into it until you expend it, or you take a long rest. Or no, not until you expend it.
Right.
So if you
Gotcha.
spell, long rest, it's still there. I'll say they go away after 7 days.
Okay.
Got to refresh every 7 days.
That will
just
work.
to keep it a little fair. But I did not have that much. If you are looking to spend a little bit more, or perhaps a future goal, I do have this as well. You see, Udatoth pulls out a pretty immaculate-looking circlet. It has a very subtle, twisting kind of knot of silver, very faint, and then embedded, probably the size of like 2 thumbs together, a sapphire cut perfectly, just immaculately. And inside the sapphire, you see this kind of almost not snow glow, but almost like dust floating around as if power is bouncing within it. This is a circlet of mana. When you take a short rest, it restores all of your spell slots.
The hell?
I'm listening.
No, Nova doesn't care, but Luke is. I don't know. I've never heard of that item because that sounds amazing.
And how much would that one run by perchance?
I will admit, I believe it is over by quite a bit. But should you encounter any relics along the way,
Such as
things worth at least 10,000 gold pieces,
Oh my god!
I will tell you a trade secret between you and me. It is a similar item to one that I wear upon my own forehead. You guys knowingly, the large ruby that Kylar appraised at least 5,000 gold pieces when it was mundane, atop Udatot's head when you first met them, is probably what they're referring to here.
Kylo, it's silver and blue. It matches your color scheme perfectly.
It does. I can be fashion souls.
Fashion souls.
This is quite a potent item, and I will admit my version of it has had no end of use to me. There's something to keep in mind.
Indeed. I will certainly keep that in mind.
Should
For
put
the
that
future.
puppy on layaway.
Do you have payment plans available?
I could
After
hold it
you-
for you for a year for 15% of its cost.
Oof.
Udatot knowingly smiles.
I may take my chances. That's
I
quite
don't
a
think
high
it's gonna
price item.
sell.
Yeah. It's well, I would, but I'm a gambling man.
I hope
Plus,
it pays
if I do that, I won't be able to help Alderia.
It's very fair.
Speaking of, you were able to cover 400.
Well, I can go up to 5, and
I can
pretty
cover
much
3.
not past that. But I also do have 2 water skins filled with scorpion poison.
With poison from a scorpion, may I see them?
Yeah,
Giant scorpion.
giant scorpion.
An important detail.
Dips a pinky in.
Actually, notably so. See that
That's
kind
stuff.
of goopy fingernail.
And they die.
Potent.
And we take everything.
I suppose I could
No.
trade. In trade for these, I could offer about 20 gold pieces per bag.
Seems like they're more useful than that, so I might just keep them.
Well, I mean, you can also poison yourself when you use it, but
Truthfully, these would probably go directly into the costs of making this item, and as such would need to be moved for more useful, pertinent pieces for this project.
Alright, so with those, that puts me up to 579. Getting there.
But don't completely tap yourself out, Alderia. You needed 700 down, Udatol?
To complete it, I would.
For the materials, labor afterwards, correct?
Materials, I will offer it to you for 700 gold. If I cannot make up the difference, then I will stomach it as the tip.
I can offer 300 gold. What's that? Alderia will pay me back.
I'll do 500. I don't need to buy anything anytime soon. I'll do 500 and I'll borrow 2 from you.
Why don't we can split it, Kylar.
Borrow 100 from each of you?
Yeah.
Certainly.
Okay.
I'm actually, if anything, I'm just trying to lighten my bag a little bit, for the trip.
Yeah. Okay. I owe you. I'm gonna make a note of that. That I owe you both 100 gold. Thank you guys.
Indeed. It's a team effort after all.
I will take my water skins of scorpion poison back though. You know, the day that we need some poison, it's gonna come in handy.
You never know when something like that will come in handy. And truthfully, I'd rather see it in your capable hands than being pawned off to some unwitting buffoon for silks. I will start this project immediately. As soon as you depart, it will begin. When you return, I should hope to have it complete.
Thank you, Uta.
Of course, anything for my best customers. After all, you did put me on the map here in Valtine. I hope to make it my home. Now, is there anything else I can do for all of you?
Well, Udatoth, I didn't come today as a customer, but as a man with a curious mind.
As all men should be.
Do you know of any way that we can entreat the brood mother of the green dragons without immediately getting eaten?
Udatoth kind of kneeling against their stand. That is a good question. Well, I cannot claim to know this particular dragon myself. What does occur to me, in general, is that dragons do love offerings, gold pieces, items of great power, offerings of your own aid can be lent in cases where they are reasonable enough. A creature of this power, it's either one of two things: completely capable on its own and would scoff at your desires to help, or so powerful and perchance full of itself that the idea of an underling would be quite suitable to it. So if there was a way for you to find out more, perhaps someone who knows them personally could inform you when you're closer or something. They could perhaps tell you a little bit more about this creature's demeanor. Approaching it to best suit that demeanor, I think, would be your best chance at survival. Engaging in open combat with any dragon, let alone a brood mother, I imagine, would go quite poorly unless you had something very powerful up your sleeve.
That was my thinking as well. Well, thank you for the advice.
Yes, of course. Should you ever need me, you will know where to find me. Of course, I cannot offer too much aid in combat. I must look after my own interests, unless you'd like to hire me for this adventure. But I must admit, I do not believe you've the means to do so currently.
If I remember your rate for 1 week, I don't think that we can.
Yeah, indeed. We couldn't hire you
much was
for
it?
the labyrinth, much less an adventure like this.
Do
How much was
note.
it?
I don't remember. It was a lot, though.
1,500 for the 7-day travel as a combatant. Yeah, what's up?
As a note for the ring,
Mhm.
can I burn sorcery points to make the spells I put in there distant?
You can affect them with your metamagic options. You cannot restore them with your metamagic options, if that makes sense.
Okay, so can I burn
you
a
can
sorcery
bonus
point
action.
today to make it a distant spell and then cast it later without burning a sorcery point, or do I have to do it as I
You
use
would do it as you cast a spell, like a normal spell, but you can't restore those slots with
Right.
your spell, your sorcery points, and you cannot burn them for sorcery points. You'd have to use your natural spell slots for those kinds of effects.
Right,
Does that
but
make
I can't put them in the ring as distant.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay,
You'd have
that's
to
what I
burn those.
wanted to
Yep,
know.
that's as you
but that's
cast.
fine.
Yep.
It's fine.
So yeah, essentially, any spell that you cast, you can affect with your metamagic option, as you cast it.
That'll work.
Spells do not interact as like normal spell slots in the sense that you can use them for your sorcery point reduction.
Right, and I wouldn't want to switch them back and forth. I just wanted to give what I had in there a little extra range, but I can burn them on the spot too.
For sure.
Well, that settles me.
Yeah.
Yes, Nova.
You got any healing potions?
I have brewed one since you last saw me. If you'd like, I can take this out to you for 50 gold pieces.
50.
Yes, 50. I am currently tapped out outside of this one, so my rate has gone up slightly.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Very well. Here you are, dear. Passes off the small red vial. You have a common healing potion for 50 gold.
Actually, Udatoth, I just remembered something. From what you were talking with Alderia about creating scrolls and scribing spells, is there a way to learn how to do that?
Well, I myself went to school for it for a few years. I am not what you'd call a master at it, but given time, it is something I've learned to do.
Is there a way that I could learn, perhaps, how to do that, but how to cast spells with the aid of ritual implements?
Indeed, I believe there is a way, although, from what I do know about you and my limited knowledge, it would be a very different path. It takes, not to say you don't have it, but much mental fortitude and study. Something that would require some time sitting down with a book and can only be taught through getting ink on your fingers and doing it.
Is there something I can purchase or somewhere you can show me that can steer me in that direction?
Yes,
It would
of
be
course.
very useful to be able to sit down and tinker with a spell or two as we go.
I duly recognize this. I will say, the most prodigious schools would be the universities in Delicus. They teach high magics, holy magics, natural magics there. Alternatively, there is a smaller university in the capital of Corandaria. This is where I learned myself. It would do you just fine to study there as well. And they would be able to set you up with a tutor, oftentimes an individual one of your own, to learn at your own pace.
Anything that I can learn on the way as we're doing this quest?
It is possible. It would take diligence and gold. Should you
Okay.
attempt to, I can certainly provide you with the basic necessities, papers. See, Udatoth kind of
Do have time and money.
Let us see. Just as a point of order, essentially, the way you would do this would be to either, I would say, I would allow you to take another, I believe it was Spell Adept or whatever. What was that one you took for the Eldritch Blast? Whatever that was. Whatever it is.
Like a feat?
Yeah, it would essentially, you could either go the route of sub-learning it, a feat that where I would let you take that again, but choose wizard spells, or you could start multi-classing if you want to choose to do so.
I debated multi-classing for a while, but I'm really going to hamstring myself if I do that.
It's a tough choice. They are both full casters, so you wouldn't be losing out on spell slots.
True. It's
But-
just my intelligence is not great.
Right. So it's definitely up to you to choose.
Let me
Gotcha.
just quick look up Spell Adept, see if it's anything.
It's
Or-
the one that you have for Warlock. I can't remember exactly what it did, but it gave you like a first level spell, and then
Yeah, and that was.
you can use them using your intelligence modifier.
Shit.
Outside of, and to clarify too, this is with like, I'm going to learn using writing pen and paper. There are probably magic items like scrolls that don't burn out. Could be something that might be similar to what you're looking for.
Magic Initiate.
Magic Initiate, thank you. Yeah. So there are magic items that could supplement you. You'd imagine in the world it's possible at the very least. Maybe beyond Udatoth's grasp currently, but it's possible that kind of thing exists. But to learn yourself would be to be a wizard essentially, or to at least dip your toes with the Magic Initiate feat.
There's also Ritual Caster too,
Sure, yeah, that would also, same idea.
and then I could actually scribe scrolls.
Which is a nice feature to have.
Interesting. Well, I'll think about it, Udatoth. I'm not quite certain what I would do right now.
Very well. Keep in mind the materials for these items are limited, I would imagine, in between your time here and probably until at least the Dry Sand Bazaar, and then from there, perhaps all the way to the capital if you do not leave the river. It would be difficult to find these accoutrements.
Well, how much for basic supplies then? That way I have it at least on hand.
Well, depending on the materials you're looking for. Verb bubbles. Essentially, it's 50 spell per spell level of materials. So like a 9th level spell would be 600
A lot of
PCs. Actually, no, I think it raises up pretty exponentially. I retract that. Sorry, I have a list somewhere. One moment. That is definitely not right, because I think...
Well, let's just call it 100 gold pieces worth of materials. I'll let you decide what would be best.
Scroll of True Resurrection for 600 gold pieces.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's not how that works. I fucked that up. Where did I put that? I used to have a graph like right on my dash. Hold on here while I pull up Google Docs and stick around for a second. Sorry, guys.
It's all good.
We cool.
I got it here. No, we're not got it here. Oh, no. Shit, stickers. No, I'll figure it out in my own time. I will say for now, once you get up to like 3rd level spells, it kind of gets exponential. But we'll say for 1st and 2nd level spells, it's 50 gold per spell level. I won't make you worry about it.
Okay.
It's not bad.
We'll just do 100 gold pieces worth of items and call it good there.
Udatoth gives you a small, thin leather binder with some parchment and kind of this gently purple-black ink. Is there anything else I can do for you all before you set off on your adventure?
Could I give you a hug?
Nova, you are most certainly welcome to give me a hug.
I give them a gentle hug. I don't want to break them.
You, for the first time being in decently physical contact with Udatoth, feel a pretty wiry, whipcord strong body. Nothing compared to yours.
That's what I was picturing, and that's kind of why I wanted to make sure I said, like, I don't want to, like...
Yeah, they're wiry, but
feel
you, as
boobs?
you squeeze down, you feel pretty easily an equal amount of pressure put back on you. A fairly unassumingly strong individual.
Do you feel boobs?
I'm not looking for them.
You're like hugging, you know?
Well, I'm almost 7 feet tall, so I
It's
don't...
mostly shoulder.
Yeah, shoulder into my inner thigh. Like, I don't...
The mystery remains.
I wish you all the best of luck.
So
Thank you.
mysterious.
Then I'm gonna spend the rest of my time in Valtine with my lady friend.
Mm.
Ooh.
We'll text in private about what goes on, but I think you all can imagine.
And I'm also, well,
Jasmine is happy to see Nova again, and
That's
sad
like
to see him.
probably
Sounds like
pissed.
the two of you are gonna sext each other.
Oh, we already do, so...
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, this is just in-game now.
we just also get to
It's not the text
now
with
we
an
get a role
accent
play
now.
while we sext. We just have an excuse to.
Jesus Christ.
Just increase our efficacy like tenfold.
But yeah, I guess it's kind of a... She's probably gonna be more mad at me now too, because we need to talk about like getting rations and stuff from her too. So it's not all
Wow.
just for fun, unfortunately.
Business with Jasmine, not just business.
A little of this, a little of that, you know.
She's fine with it. You guys collect rations from her easy enough.
As a point of order, I'm going to cast 2 first-level healing words in my ring.
You got it. 2 first level healing words. You would wager that for this length of a journey, rations would spoil by the time you get through. She sets you up with about a month worth of dry goods that would be readily available to throw onto a small boat. Definitely rations, stuff you'll have to ration, but things that will keep you alive. So, and she gives it to you for about 10 gold between all of you.
Like 10
Easy
gold
enough.
each, or like 10 gold?
10 gold. Rations aren't too hard to come by. especially now that the city is seeing more production. It's dry. It's just mostly dried meats, breads.
Alzeria,
Go bad raisins.
can
Yes.
you create food? Magically?
Not yet. I believe I can at 5th level.
I know there's a
Spells.
poop joke in there somewhere. I'm just
You can't take a handful of berries and make them sustain us all day.
I don't know. I didn't really read through all my new spells yet.
I believe that is the good berry spell.
Indeed.
Oh, good berries. I think I can
Does it
do,
provide sustenance for a whole day?
but it doesn't.
All day.
It's just 10 hit point return.
And the berry provides enough nourishment to sustain a creature for 1 day.
Oh, yes, I can do good berry.
I think it's
just
a first
haven't
level
taken it.
spell. Yep.
It is. I
Might
used
be
to have it
something
when I
worth
was a
looking into.
ranger.
In another
Yeah,
level.
we
could,
can always do that.
We could ignore the need to forage further on.
Yeah,
Does
Just
it-
enough to
And-
find the berries.
and I assume a sprig of mistletoe.
It's like
It
a
does not
casting
have a cost component to it.
Yeah, I would say GP next to it if it did so. So long as you have your staff
Oh, my little.
or your
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
master
So
there.
I could do good berries.
We're thinking ahead, anyways. That would
Yeah.
cut out a lot of need for spoilable rations that we are bulky and heavy. But it's
Yeah.
nice to have some variety as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys would like to do to prep? You guys do, just to clarify, you guys do end up collecting those first months of rations? Or no? All right, if someone would mark off 10 gold for those.
I'll chip in.
Can do some.
Shit,
Um,
I'm flush. I'll just buy them.
Sure.
I'm not gonna say no.
Yeah, I
Still
won't
have
argue with
400
you.
gold after everything.
Alrighty,
Oh.
I think
I still have all of those gold stuff.
oh yeah,
Fireboy loots.
some bulky pots and pans if I remember it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
God, where were my notes on that? Oh yeah. Gold and silver dishware needs to be refurbished. So far, 75 gold pieces worth of restored stuff.
Do you want to take the time to restore it before you guys go?
I would just sell the 75 I have worth right now and then keep working on it as we go. That way,
Okay,
once we hit a bigger
I
city,
would say this is a pretty bulky project. Keeping it with you has kind of been a pain in the ass already.
yeah, that's why I want to unload what I have right now, just to kind of pare down some weight.
Sure. I'll say it just again for the sake of brevity, you get 75 gold pieces worth. You still got a big old fucking bag of pots and pans. You're guessing probably like a third of the way through.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna start being a little more attentive about restoring that as we're on the way.
Hey, you got
Gotcha.
nothing but
Like-
time.
Completely forgot they existed.
You know what? Fuck it. Kylar wouldn't have forgotten that a giant bag of
He-
pans.
I mean, he probably wouldn't have, but Zach did.
If you want to add another 150 on top of that, I'll say you polished them up, made them good to go.
Okay, I'm gonna do that in platinum, so it's easier to carry.
Yeah, at that point too, with the amount of gold that you guys are carrying, you're starting to feel a little weighed down, but nothing too much.
Not me.
Fair enough.
Well, you spent a lot.
Is there anything you guys want to do before
Dwarven
heading
Luca.
south?
I'm going to head off to the Golden Bulwark bunks for the night and say hello to my comrades in the Golden Bulwark.
They greet you very very heartily. The newer one's a little shy, but everyone seems to be welcoming you back, interested in your story deeply about
Sure.
meeting with the dragon, insisting they'll see you off in the morning. Those kinds of things as you go off to rest. And I will say at that point, it would probably be a good time for a quick break.
Okay.
Cool.
If y'all are ready for it.
Yeah, I could use one.
Sure.
Alrighty, thanks
Be
guys.
back
We'll be
at
back
8.
8 o'clock. Yep, we'll be back starting at 8 o'clock. So
Goodbye.
see you guys all in just a minute. Thanks for joining. Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. The party was just on their way out of town, getting ready to leave Valtine, making last-minute preparations, saying goodbye, well, hello, and then goodbye to numerous individuals, townsfolk, as they
Say hello.
wished. The floor is yours. It's the morning that you guys are going to leave, unless there is something else you're looking to do.
Where's the river in relation to Valtine?
Seeming to remember from the map, it was essentially directly south of
Saf.
the Savarantine Forest, right on the edge of it. So,
Well then,
let me pull.
was there anything we needed to do in town, or shall we be off?
We shall be off.
There it is.
Once our DM has figured it out.
That's our DM has found the notebook with the map. It's the map. It's the map.
It's
Valtine,
the Maya.
Eline, Lake Ilinia.
Yeah, just take as straight of a path as we can.
The most linear.
Linear,
Yeah.
yes.
Your best way might be to kind of follow the edge of the Savarantine Forest, as it would take you straight to Lake Ilinia.
Try to stay close to it in the shade.
Sure thing. So eventually, so I will start actually with, I believe it was Nova's turn. Go ahead and roll me a D100.
It's my turn.
You're the boy now.
Last time I rolled a 6.
34.
34.
Good roll. Good roll.
Good roll. Good roll. Yeah, good roll.
Show me boobs.
I was just about to say that. Good
Was
answer.
Was that real life?
Should have had you roll this before the break. Give me some time on the bathroom to think about that. That's such a medium roll.
Kind of a medium's year for women's soccer, right?
What?
It's a deep cut Office reference, and I carry on.
Anyway.
My wayward son.
That's me. So the days, I will say, for the purpose of this, traveling is warm as hell. On the second day, when you're in the deep desert, on the way to the edge of the Savarantine Forest, you do see one kind of large spot out in the sand. It just casts a dark shadow. As you're kind of walking along, you feel a rumbling.
It's a Moldoga.
And you see
I forget to eat.
kind of this arching arc. Go ahead and roll me stealth checks.
Arching arc.
Arching arc.
Arcing arch.
Well, that's not good.
Oh, baby.
Bear.
Please don't, bear.
My stealth rolls are so weird. So I have disadvantage, but a +5.
Wow.
Are you proficient then?
Yes.
Damn.
Well, it's better than having like a negative and disadvantage.
Now when you roll like this, I rolled a 3 and a 4, so I got an 8.
7.
Oh no!
What did you do? You did worse.
I rolled a 19 and a 5.
Okay. Out in the high desert.
Honestly, that's fair, because I didn't think I was being stealthy.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, it was more of a general
Okay.
stealth check as you guys saw this large moving kind of thing. Watching your steps a little more carefully. Eventually the ground ceases to shake.
Oh, that's not good.
And then it erupts.
You continue for a while. Eventually you feel sand shifting beneath your feet.
Wow.
Closer now, you see a creature emerging from the sand. You can insert the show us the worm meme here if you want.
Is it a butt blaster?
It shows the spice.
You see twisting out from the ground this kind of tan, almost flesh tone, large creature, enormous in size, has this almost beak-like mouth appendage. Sand splashing up. The misfortune of the day bringing this creature close to you. If you all would like to try and hide one more time, you have the option to. The creature is cresting through the sand, probably, you're guessing with its size, a few football fields away, but this enormous presence diving back in the sand, seemingly headed in your general direction at the very least.
Are we near the forest?
Not yet. Still high
Can
desert.
I cast Pass Without a Trace on us to help?
Go ahead and roll an initiative check.
All of us
You
were
can.
just
Just her.
under your hand.
Just out there for this.
16.
16? Yeah. By 1. You have,
My +1 to initiative.
with a 15, you defeat the worm's quick eye. Not that it has any. So you can cast Pass Without a Trace. So you guys all can roll another stealth check.
Oh,
But
it's
this
so
creature-
much better than...
This creature, you feel almost as if it's passing right under your feet now.
Much
Still
better.
a little hot, though. It's a good roll.
I got a 21.
I did one better than him. I got a 22.
17.
29.
That was pretty much just decided by you there, Kyler. You see the creature dive into the sand, probably a few football fields away, the last of its elongated, tubular kind of tail dipping into the sand. Fading for a bit. No more than 100 feet off to the other side of you, you see this creature in and out of the sand for a long while off into the distance, feeling the shaking of it, plowing through sand and leaving just this trail, almost like a snail, but just a carved wave through the sand. Looking around, you're now noticing these huge grooves in the sand, lots caused by waves, but many seem to follow a similar pattern as well. You're guessing out here in the high desert, creatures like this, probably not a dime a dozen. Dangerous territory. But with mostly good luck, but not entirely good luck, you guys find your way through the desert and eventually reach the edge of the Savernine Forest. A slightly more hospitable area. You navigate along for the next few days. And eventually you reach Lake Elinia. After traveling along the Savernine Forest's edge for a few days, the terrain starts to become more rocky near the edge, and the sands start to drift away. Almost, not mountainous, but almost deep forest-like gray stone. Sand gives way to gray stone. And eventually, walking along, you see Lake Elinia itself, an enormous lake centered by a headwater waterfall, drifting, not ragingly, but probably a solid 75 meters, 75 yards, whatever you prefer, into the river below from these enormous headwaters that seem to kind of run down from the forest above. Just before you, this nice, not enormous, but just large body of water seems to be dotted with small islands carrying trees from similar make of the Savernine Forest, the high branched pedaling above. No human life seems to be here, but you think you've made your way to the headwaters.
What time of day is it?
I'd say at this point, this probably be the evening before, like the evening that you make it. So if there's anything you guys want to do here.
Yeah, I don't know. My thoughts are to maybe head out to one of those islands. We can make camp there. I feel like it'd be safer.
That's probably a good idea.
Could we just swim over there?
Not just pop a boat out.
I'm just worried about them floating away or something, but I guess we can just tie them up.
Mm-hmm.
I could just
And pull it up out of the water.
pick it up and put it on shore.
That's true. They're 100 pounds, if you're curious.
Well, that's fine.
There's 4 of us.
All right. I will, if everyone's ready, rip 2 boat patches off and yeet them. I don't really know how they work. Just
Yeet.
just towards the water.
Do you need to use 2 of them?
Yeah, I think we need 2 boats because of my heavy ass. Our heavy asses.
I think Nova is probably going to take up a good portion of one of them. So.
Yeah,
It doesn't actually have like a weight limit on them. I looked it up. There's no actual weight limit, but they're 12 feet each.
It's a hefty sized rowboat.
It's a good sized boat.
So, do you think all of us can fit on one?
Let's try it.
All right, I'll do one first and see if we can fit on it.
Sure. I will say you manage, as you do, to it is something that is feasible. You don't sink the boat.
Okay.
However, for a potentially 6-month-ish journey, you're gathering this this means of travel would be incredibly cramped for a long term thing. And
Maybe we do
come out the way it would put you very low to the water. So
we learn our lesson on the way over to the island. Like, yeah, we should bring 2.
Let's put one of the heavy boys in each boat and one of the lighter people with one of the heavy.
I can roll us over.
It's good because I can't.
Okay. Making camp at the island, you guys come across a pretty nice little grove island, probably no more than 40 meters by 40 meters or so across, dotted with trees. You see small wildlife, critters, squirrels, a couple crabs here and there, fish.
Yeah, honestly, I'd just pick the boat up and bring it up to camp.
Sure.
Just kind of pick it up and like put it over me on my shoulders and.
You do so. The boat now in camp. You guys kick your feet up, relax a little bit for the evening. What would y'all like to do? Set up a watch or anything?
I guess I should probably do a watch.
Probably should.
I'll go first.
I'll go last.
I'll go second. Third.
Cool.
So you're first?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Oh no, I threw my dice.
You peasant using physical dice.
21.
21, that is just enough to succeed, actually. You see throughout the course of the night, as your watch goes on, at first a calm, peaceful evening, the birds floating across the sky. Eventually you see these small creatures approach from the water. At first you hear them carrying little spear accoutrement. You see the shape of an amphibian, humanoid-looking creature. Seems to be peering out through a bush towards your camp. Speaking back. And then kind of turns away. At that to unless you stop it to interact with it. It doesn't seem to return for your watch, though.
Okay.
But there is some kind of humanoid sentient life that emerged from the water you are aware of.
All
You
right.
gather specific colors or anything, but you're gathering some kind of amphibian.
All right. I don't really want to do anything. Just watch.
That's fair. Eventually your watch goes through. And whoever was second, I believe that was
Me.
Go ahead,
Perception?
check, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna tell him too when I wake him up that there were little amphibious dudes.
That'll affect the DC, we'll say.
Little amphibious dudes. They look dangerous.
They have little spears, but they didn't attack or anything. Kind of cute.
Good to know. Alright, well, I'll keep my eye towards the water then.
In his sleep, you hear Nova go, I know I'm cute.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. You see two
Damn it,
of
Nova.
these creatures as well on your watch. The first one, kind of similar situation to Alderia, peeks in on you, kind of uses its spear. You notice a couple leaves brush to the side, and then the campfire glow reflects almost like cat-like eyes back at you. That's all you really catch of it. And then later on, you see, with its back turned to you, rifling through a small barrel of your food. Not like rifling through it yet, but looking to, probably. One of these creatures kind of look at you.
It's like those
Thinking
damn
it's unseen.
foxes.
Okay, I'll draw my sword and walk towards it. Be gone. Shoo.
Go ahead and roll an intimidation check. See the little.
I am.
You see before you two. And it kind of like a burlap sack almost shirt, laid against its shoulder, just a stick with a stone, kind of in the vague shape of a point.
Sure.
This orange spotted, blackened orange frog, probably no more than 2-ish feet tall, small creature. Look up.
I rolled a 14 plus 5 for a total of 19.
19. The creature rolls it off to the side. You see, as it kind of runs off to the side, a whole bunch of these other little critters. You see eyes look up at you, and then other bushes start to rumble. These creatures seem to be watching, intent on what the result might have been from your interaction. Almost school kid like, like when a whole bunch of kids watch their friend do something they're not supposed to do.
Are Nova and I still asleep?
I'd say with the commotion, you guys kind of drift away, still laying down. You kind of
Candy cakes. Huh?
bushes. And eventually these creatures kind of run off. You hear some splashing in water.
Just had some friends visit. Don't worry, they're gone.
No, I'm not worried.
I'm gonna go back to sleep.
Eventually your watch does end. And I'll say for the purposes of this, unless you guys would like to stop them for any reason, similar interactions happen throughout the night as they pester you and seem genuinely curious about what's going on, but upon being shooed, don't seem to offer any resistance for the most part. Almost taking it game-like, playing with the people inhabiting this island.
I mean, I'd probably play with them.
Do you want to interact with them?
Yeah, I mean, if they're harmless and they're not trying to steal from us.
Eventually, one of them, Nova, comes up during your watch. It's looking sleepy now because you had the last watch. You see kind of little bags. This is the orange one again, not that you would know the individual. You catch it trying to rifle through food again, and later on, when you kind of shoo it away playfully, later on it comes back, and without you being aware, pokes you in the butt as you're sitting on a rock with one of its spears. You kind of, whoo!
Whoa. All right. Who did it?
Turn around and you see tiny little orange creature.
Playfully chase it like I'm Godzilla.
It runs away playfully. The spear over its head running through the bushes. You see its friends, the blue one with kind of neon green spots, looks up. They start running away. You see the little orange one into the water.
Kind of like in the cool like morning air. It's gonna breathe out really heavily, so it looks like I don't want to use my breath weapon for nothing.
Like you're like making a cross in the air or whatever.
I even go into the water a little bit.
You see a couple of them swim up right next to you. Touch your scales a little bit, those kinds of things.
I'll hang out with them.
Interested. Yeah, they seem to be.
Like everybody wakes up and just down by the water, just playing with them.
Yeah, by the time you all come to, Nova's like sitting with like a nursery of these little frogs, spears thrown on the beach, stabbed in the ground. They're like sitting on his lap, like kind of
My glaive
with his
next to him.
animals and genuinely seeming interested. A couple of them are like hanging around his neck like little capes.
Nova.
Guys, he's nope, that's not his voice. Guys,
the blame the frog.
these little frog boys are cool. Hey, these little frog fellers are pretty cool. I think you're getting sleepy though, and just kind of like pick one up.
The orange one at this point, just like kind of.
Nova, how many times did we talk on our journey up here about not picking up strays?
They kind of picked me up. Not literally, that would be insane. But I understand your concern.
As long as you understand, you can start eating breakfast.
Turning away.
Tired for the shit.
No, but you see Kylar walk back into the small underbrush. Playing some more with the little frogs. They enjoy your company. They don't seem to speak any common, but they try to interact with you a few different times. And you speak back to them, and they're like,
Yeah, I mean, I tried Draconian. I only know 2 languages, so.
yeah, it doesn't seem to help at all. They want a couple of them flinch as you speak in Draconic tongue, like, yeah. But yeah, they don't seem to speak your language, but they do seem to speak a language, and they try to interact with you. Eventually pointing things out. It's like one of the little games you play, like, points at a tree, and you say tree, and point at the tree. Those are friends.
Okay, cool.
Brush.
Brush.
Nova.
But unless there's anything else, they pester you and tell you shoo them off. Seemingly pretty docile creatures, mostly curious about.
I'm down there until these guys are getting mad that I'm not bringing the boat down.
Nova.
Huh.
The boat.
Oh, right. I'll be right there. See you later, little buddy.
A couple of them give you high fives and shit.
Yeah.
As they head off. You've prepared the boats. Is there anything else you guys would like to do as you head out of Lake Alinea? There is the falls, so you'll have to find a way to navigate around that.
Where?
The headwaters of Lake Alinea drifts off into the river from probably about a 75-meter waterfall. Nothing like if you drove your boat straight off of it, you'd probably get close. Well, you're adventurous, so you probably wouldn't all die, but would hurt bad. But you would imagine your boat would have a rough time faring.
Is that like within 1 day's journey?
Yeah. The Lake Alinea itself it's a large headwater, but it's not like it's within sight of the island you're on.
So before I whip out a second boat, should we traverse down with the one that we already have? Like, bring it kind of over to the shore and carry it down the cliff.
I think that would be wise, yeah.
Yeah, I can take this thing wherever you need it. I know what we're gonna do when we have 2 of them. I don't know if.
Well, it's mainly just like this one waterfall that we need to get around.
We must
Should be fine.
portage.
How far down is it?
About 75 meters equation.
Meters?
Yeah.
Oh. That's a big waterfall. Oh my god.
It's not that big.
75 meters, bro? That's like
almost a football field.
yeah. Big
I mean,
waterfall.
it's
You do
big,
go down.
it's big for
Couple
us.
hundred
It's not
feet,
big
yeah.
for dope fantasy people that are
Right.
gonna go from an alligator mouth pouring out water that I will describe at a later point in this game, probably about 4 sessions or so from now.
Help.
Well, let's
Trek our way down.
Yeah.
carry the boat on land and not risk breaking it.
So you guys portage. I'll say, taking up a good portion of the day, probably about half you guys managed to do so. Nova, are you helming the portaging of the boat?
Oh yeah, I got it.
Go ahead and make me an athletics check. See if you keep your footing
Okay.
and strength.
Can I help?
This is...
It's a 12-foot boat. I should be able to grab the back.
Oh, the thing is canoes are... I'll say it'll affect the DC. It's not going to be straight up advantage, though.
All right.
You are aiding in making sure like the one side doesn't get completely smashed against the rocks, while also balancing on this steep incline as you find ways to zigzag down.
22.
22, plenty. You, with the help of Erzan, navigating pretty adeptly with the boat just kind of resting on your shoulders, occasionally sticking a hand out while you go to kind of lean against the wall here or there. And you guys do make it to the bottom of Lake Alinea, the headwaters smashing into some rocks, spiking up from the ground, and then eventually turning into this gently flowing river. Hopping into both of your boats now, I presume.
Yes.
You head off on your way once again. This time making for the just going onward. I suppose you'll find out the next location once you get there. Can I have?
How are we paired up?
I'd probably take Kylar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I have
Works for
Erzan
me.
roll a D100?
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
I rolled a
That's
great.
17.
17.
Blessings upon thee.
Blessings
Thank
of
you.
Stendar upon thee.
Stop! You violated the law.
I've fought mud crabs more fearsome than you.
Do you know that I also did the voice of Shea Agora?
Jack!
Wow.
I'm owned by Microsoft now.
Oh, why you gotta bring that up?
French.
Rip.
F in the chat.
Rip Bethesda.
During your time traveling the Eline River, the boats seem to be holding well. You're paddling along. About 2 days into your travel now, you start coming across some rapids. As you continue to go, they start to roar heavier. You see at this point two small fish-like creatures swimming up against them with large teeth. You imagine falling in at this point would probably be pretty...
I'm excited at first. I think they're my little friends.
Nope.
Oh.
See large teeth kind of sticking up along the snout.
No,
So-
this is why we don't pick up strays.
Water.
Piranha
Similar,
from
yeah.
the Amazon.
With freaking laser beams attached to their head.
Right when I take a drink. Come on, man.
As you guys are continuing down, you are seeing these creatures. The waters are starting to get heavier. You feel the boats occasionally scrape against rocks. I'm gonna need whoever the people in the back piloting the boats are to roll survival checks as you navigate these headwaters.
Survival?
Survival.
Can I argue for athletics?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's me.
Can you argue for athletics?
Since this is a physical activity and I'm not foraging,
Are you proficient in survival?
no. I am
I
proficient in
will give
athletics,
you-
though.
I will give you an athletics check using your wisdom modifier instead of your strength modifier.
What if I'm proficient in
It's not the
both?
physical activity so much that it's hard. It is dexterously navigating your boat through these rocks. Like anyone that is buff can lift a boulder, but not anyone that is buff can lift a boulder and then shoot it through a basketball hoop.
Well,
right?
and are these boats big enough that they have like tillers? So like
No,
one person
they're
rows
like-
and the
they're
other one
like
steers.
Rowboats.
They're
Okay.
just slightly wider canoes. It's a 12-foot boat. It's not that long.
Isn't survival wisdom though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So an
wisdom
athletics
or
check using your
so-
your wisdom modifier.
survival plus proficiency is what you're saying.
Sure.
Sorry, Kylar.
Don't say that.
Again, this is more of a skill check than it is a brute force. Like you could plow through the rock with your magnetudinal power, but getting around it is more the issue.
I got an 11.
I also got an 11.
Oh no!
Crash to each other.
Being nice and medium,
DC
as
10,
most of
baby.
your guys' fucking rolls have been. You scrape up the boats pretty badly. No holes yet. but you wager another damaging event like this would probably put you out for a while to do boat repairs.
Nova. Alderia,
Yeah,
are you capable of mending these?
I was just gonna say, can I use mending?
Yeah, you can mend them. Probably takes you about a night each. So there's like the one night of...
Even though it's a 1 minute casting time of a spell?
Yeah, there's a lot more than one cast per boat. It's going to take you numerous casts per boat to fix each spot. There's lots of splintered wood on a whole bunch of different places. So it's going to take you a bit of mending. No pun intended. But you do eventually, after 2 nights, get it. But with that, healing your boats and then traveling upon the next day, you eventually curve around a bend. The tree is starting to kind of give way now to more natural grass and then eventually sand around the outside of the Eline River flowing through pretty much the desert at this point, outside of just right along the shore. Eventually, you do come across some large erected tents that seem to be in this array around the Eline River on either side of it. 3 notably extremely large tents, one on each side of the river and then one further down the river, you see, all bearing specific kind of colorations. The one on the left being kind of a red and a green, the one on the right being a blue and a black, and the one farthest down being a white.
Do these colors mean anything to me?
Nothing to you guys at all. One moment here. You guys approach in. You see essentially what seems to be a bazaar.
I guess, does it look permanent, or is this somebody's camp?
It looks semi-permanent. You see activity, people shouting, "Hey!" Oh, you see people holding up gold coins, small gems, donkeys, camels being led around,
Camels?
and dust raising up into the air.
Can I get an Alderia in the chat, please?
Are there larger boats ported here?
You don't see large boats. I mean, large compared to yours, yes, but no like ocean navigating vessels.
Yeah, but like perhaps some merchant barges and things of that manner.
You would gather this. Well, go ahead and roll me a history check.
History?
I'll say everybody can roll me one. Fuck it.
Wow, man, I don't know much about no.
Trust me, this
Oceans.
is not.
Okay.
memory.
Okay.
It's a history check.
Oh, mine
Rolled
is
a
2.
13.
So,
10.
18.
18. You guys, as the general cheer of folk traveling to the edge of the docks, short docks, but docks nonetheless. Ho there, travelers! Come, come! It is occurring to you. You have probably made it to the Dry Sand Bazaar, as described to you as Udatoth's last place,
Yes.
where they had set up camp and sold. Individuals flocking to the docks, helping you tie up your boats. Come, come, offering you small coins of, intrigue.
Like, oh, traveler, come! I'm
like pamphlet versions.
Hi.
Friends.
They're all excited to see you. I will say, with that, I think it would be a good time to wrap the session up as you make it to the Dry Sand Bazaar. It's kind of where the next big leg comes up, and truthfully, I'm feeling a little faint.
That's fair. I'm gonna name drop the fuck out of Udatoth.
You're gonna what?
I'm gonna name drop the fuck out of Udatoth.
Yeah. I will say, for the purpose of brevity, people usher you on, help you collect your things, seem just so overbearingly nice here. It feels kind of fake almost. You're getting the vibe as you're kind of brought up on the shore.
Like, keep a hand on
Rest,
my purse.
come here. People
Should we
flagging
have
you
somebody
down.
stay and watch the boats?
I'm not going to the bar.
As you say that, a few individuals There's no need. No one will rob you of your tiny boats. You see one of
Insight.
them as you ferry. Go ahead and roll an insight.
14.
Seems like they're telling the truth as far as you can tell. Seems fairly unimpressed by your boats, and as such, kind of talks down about them.
It's fair.
It's fair.
Yeah, we just look
Do
around
the other-
like, oh, wait, our boats.
Do the other boats
Hey!
that we can see
The best I could.
docked here have people on
They were
them for
free.
the most part, or somebody
Well,
like
you see
attending to
people
them?
coming in and out. Seems to be that a couple, small goods are being traveled to and from across the river, and people are trading coins. A couple larger ones, a couple more kayak, like individual-sized boats. So yeah, I
Okay.
mean, yours are just large canoes, pretty much. So
Yeah.
hard to say it. It's not like
They're rowboats.
anyone. Rowboats. They're large rowboat, medium rowboats.
Shouting on my boats. It's fine.
It's a nice boat. It did you good. Got you a long way so far.
24 feet of boat there.
But yeah, as you guys approach these docks, the atmosphere is it's fake, but it's very pleasant. People, it's kind of like when you meet someone at the bar that you've met like one time before. Not that you hate each other or anything, just kind of, like everyone's super pleasant. And,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, and the general mood is good, and you get kind of swept up into the crowd a little bit. And with that, we'll kind of wrap up tonight's session.
Big mood.
Admittedly, it's a little bit less far than I wanted to get, but I think going farther than this would mean we're completing the quest, and that means that I'm going to bed at 10 tonight.
That's fair.
Sure.
So with that, I think that's probably a good point to take a rest into the rising. You know what? I tell you what, I will describe one more thing. Little bonus for some rising action here, as a good DM ought to do. You are swept up into the crowd. Eventually, people offering wares. Oh, these pheasant tails for you, young miss. And you see them holding up a little charm, almost like a dream catcher, seeming to wield pheasant tails at the end. People holding out large swords, in particular a glaive, out to you. This is a fine crafted material. And just bringing you through this crowd. You eventually notice you're kind of being led through the crowd by one individual, a young man, maybe 15 or 16. Seems to
He's
have
almost a young boy.
almost a, are you gonna ask him for directions? No, you
I
see
need an old priest and a young priest.
a young lad, but a lad, kind of leading you through. If you follow this way, I think there's someone you ought to meet. Eventually bringing you through. You are eventually led to the red and green tent. There, you see pulled aside is the tent flap, like the door. And inside you see a red bearded dwarf, large beard, large guts protruding from out under the beard, almost like it's draping around its tummy. Slurping on a large mug of what you would presume to be some kind of ale, foam dripping in their beard. Bright green eyes with a very simple kind of gold circlet, wearing like pretty taut leathers, looking clean, being fanned currently by a large leaf. Looking up at you. What have you brought me here, Tazim? You see the younger man look back. I think these ones, I think they might be able to help you out with that little problem you were telling me about the other day. They just might.
Hey there, my name's Nova.
With that, we'll end the session.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Yeah, so you guys see this dwarven figure, some kind of leader amongst these people you imagine in one of these tents. Seems to have a problem. I think it's this young lad seeing these adventurers. thinks he might be able to help.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks everybody for watching. Sorry about the slightly shorter sessions. Things are going to be a little zany as we have to have a little bit more rigid structure going into the next few sessions with my life being.
Dang it, Jesse.
But thank you to my viewers, to my players. I should say our viewers. Not
Much.
to be a fucking narcissist. We will probably be streaming some video games soon, so stick to us.
Yeah, for sure, more often.
Games.
Pokemon
Yeah,
Emerald
we've
on
been
Friday.
saying-
Check it out.
Hopefully playing some Arena myself next Monday is the plan, assuming I haven't caught up on this. I need to be caught up on this before I play Arena, but if I am, then I will. But yeah,
We love
anyways,
you.
love y'all.
Bye.
Have a beautiful time.
Have a wonderful time.